What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're going to be looking at Blue Digimon. You see, the set list for Booster 1.0 has finally been revealed. We know all the blue cards. What we're going to do today is we're going to take a nice quick look through all of the blue cards. Now, the rule is very simple. I have looked at a number. In fact, every blue card that has been revealed we've looked at on this channel. If there is a blue card that you're excited about that we don't mention in this video, it ain't coming. So what we're going to do is sit down and take a nice look through blue and see the kind of strategies and decks we can make. So starting off with the Digitamer, we are getting Omnimon, and this is good. This is the best of the Digitamer, or the Digi-Egg, that we are getting in blue. Inheritable skill, once during your turn, when you attack with that Digimon, you get to draw a card. Great for extra draw, usually the one that people go for. We're also getting Omnimon that says if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon with no Digivolution sources, you get an extra 2,000 power. An extra 2,000 power on a Digitamer is awesome, but by the same token, it's not necessarily in your control. Though one of the things blue does so well is removing evolution sources. Now, we do have one more we can look at from the starter deck, which is your Omnimon, which has an inheritable skill that this Digimon gets 1,000 power when battling an opponent's Digimon that has no evolution sources. Easier to get, but less of a power boost. And it's got to be the one you're fighting that has no evolution sources. Now, quick note about the starter deck. We're not going to be focusing too much on that in this video, purely because we've not been given the lists. So when I'm over here, I am looking at the official website of the global release of the game with actual English scans of actual English cards. Over here, I'm essentially looking at the translated versions, but kind of largely Google Translate. And it's not official, and it's kind of the English section of the website, but it's not all that in a bag of potato chips, so to speak. So take it with a pinch of salt. And also, very important, although we assume, and it is overwhelmingly likely that the deck list for the starter decks will be the same in Japan and outside, that has not been confirmed yet. So then moving on, we've got a bunch of other cards we can have a little bit of a look at. We're getting Armadillomon, relevant because it is a 2 cost to play, normally 4,000 power, which is quite cheap and moderately powerful. Elecmon is a 2 cost to play normally with 3,000 power, and that's why you're playing it. We want Digimon that only cost 2 to play, because yes, you can evolve a Digi-Egg in your breeding area, but you can hatch an egg one turn, bring it out the next, hatch and then bring out. You're only doing that once every 2 turns. You're going to be playing most Digimon normally, so a 2 cost to play normally is pretty awesome. Gabumon is a phenomenal card, because when you play it, you get to draw a card. Its card draw sees a huge amount of play in blue decks. Do remember, one of the box toppers we are getting is an alternate art version of that Gabumon. This is coming as, I believe they're in the dash packs, so something to bear in mind. You might get one of those. Gomamon, it's, when deleted, you gain a memory. You don't want your Digimon being deleted. Do remember, these inheritable skills only work on the Digimon that have evolved from the Digimon. So Gomamon doesn't gain a memory when deleted. The Digimon that has evolved from Gomamon does. But it gains you an extra memory, and that's pretty good. Monmon is a 4 cost to play normally, which is expensive, 1,000 power, which is low, and you have to pay to evolve, which is really bad for level 3s. Remember, if you go first, you start with 0 memory. If you pay to evolve your level 3, your turn ends. It sucks. But it's got blocker, and it's a level 3 blocker. You don't get many level 3 blockers, and it's really good in that regard. Frigimon is a nice cheap Digimon with jamming, which means it will not be deleted by security Digimon, no matter how powerful they are, which is nice. Dolphmon is a nice level 4. If your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards, you get an extra 1,000 power. Obviously, that can be comboed with stuff like Omnimon, and then you're potentially getting an extra 3,000 power. But if you're going along those lines, you really do need to be focusing on having a deck list which aims to remove the evolution sources from your opponent. And you'll see we do have a bunch of options for that. Ikakumon's got an inheritable skill that says it cannot be blocked by your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution sources. So if you're looking to not get blocked, Ikakumon's kind of got your back, and obviously you might have a Digimon that you just cannot afford to give up, or that you've got, security attack plus 3, but if you get blocked, you don't get any security attacks. Sometimes you just need to avoid getting blocked. Ikakumon has very much got your back. Leomon, when you're deleted, you gain 2 memory. It is a non-inheritable skill, which is to say, it's got to be Leomon that is deleted, though fans of Digimon will know it's kind of what Leomon does. The cool thing is, of course, that it doesn't matter how it gets deleted, whether you're attacking a security Digimon, whether you're attacking and getting blocked, or whether you're being attacked because you're resting or whatever. So it's not that difficult to activate, and then you gain a couple of memory, and that ain't too bad. Hopefully you can, take out a security card while gaining the memory. Now, Garurumon is one of my very favourite cards we've seen so far in all 3 of the first sets. Remember, the first 3 Japanese sets will be in Booster 1.0 and 1.5 over here. So we're taking their 3 sets and we're getting them in our first 2. When you play it, you unsuspend one of your Digimon. You make it active. It's phenomenal, and I love it. Making Digimon unsuspended or active is just a ridiculous skill. This is one I'm certainly going to be playing. And Gorillamon might be a vanilla character, but it's a 1 cost to evolve. And as you can see from the other level 4s, 2 cost to evolve, 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 1 cost to evolve. So with Gorillamon here, you're playing it very simply because you don't have to pay as much to evolve it. It gets you up to your big level 6s a little bit faster. Now, we're getting Omnimon, which I like because it's the cutest, best looking Digimon we've seen so far. There's nothing great about it, except 5 cost to play normally, 2 cost to evolve is cheap. Let's look at the other level 5s. 6 and 3, 6 and 3, 7 and 3, 7 and 3. So it's cheaper to play normally, and it's cheaper to evolve. Omnimon sees a bunch of play over in Japan and has done since it came out, purely on the basis that it is cheaper to play. Simple as that. Now, Cerberusmon, when you attack, limited to twice during your turn, you may trash 3 cards from your hand and unsuspend it. We've talked about unsuspending and how powerful that is, and it is. It is a great skill, but one thing you've got to remember here is you are going to be destroying your hand to actually do this, and you've only got 6,000 power, so if you're attacking security cards, there's a decent chance you're going to get destroyed anyway. You're not that powerful. If you can give yourself jamming, I do feel quite differently. So yes, I like Cerberusmon, but I also worry that it's just going to be far too awkward to make use regularly. Where Garurumon, when you attack, you gain 3 memory. At the end of your turn, you lose 3 memory. These are called colloquially referred to as the memory borrower cards. You get 3 memory now, you give it back at the end. They don't see a huge amount of play from what I'm seeing, but they are useful for allowing you that one big turn you wouldn't be able to get anyway. Zudamon is one I'm a big fan of. It's got a play skill that lets you draw 2 cards. Do bear in mind for newer players, play skills and evolution skills are different. This is a play skill, so if you pay 7 to play it normally, you draw 2 cards. If you pay 3 to evolve it from a level 4, you don't. Also, it's got an inheritable skill whereby if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards, that is any of their Digimon, you gain a memory, so you should play it and draw 2 cards, and then be attacking and gaining memory. This is a Zudamon that does make its way as a 1 or 2 of into a lot of blue decks, because it's awesome. Loda Leomon is vanilla, but the stats speak for itself. It's a 10,000 power level 5. If we look at the other level 5s, the next most powerful is Garurumon with 7,000. And that is 1 less to play normally, same cost to evolve. Loda Leomon is a beefy level 5, and it really is as simple as that. If you want a bit of beef and a bit of power in your level 5s, Loda Leomon has absolutely got your back. And then we've got the level 6s. And we don't have a huge amount of choices. We've got Saber Leomon. Now, Saber Leomon, it's not particularly powerful and it's not particularly cheap. But when you Digivolve, you trash 4 Digivolution sources from under one of your opponent's Digimon, which is ridiculous. I mean, take a level 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is all of them. They're going to have a level 7 evolved straight up from a Digitamer to survive with any Digivolution sources here, and that's why you play Saber Leomon. It's not the most popular build of blue, it's certainly not my favourite, but you can see the use for it here. The one I'm looking at as a level 6 blue is Metal Garurumon. I adore Metal Garurumon, because when you attack, you get to play a level 4 or lower Digivolution card under this card as another Digimon without paying the cost. And here I am right back to Garurumon. I attack with Metal Garurumon, and then I play Garurumon without paying for it, and then I activate one of my other Digimon, or unsuspend. Just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I am a huge, gigantic fan of this. This is what a lot of blue players are playing. It is certainly something that I am going to be having a play around with. It is a little bit nuts. Now, in terms of other level 6s, we do have a couple buried away here. We have got Metal Seadramon. Now, Metal Seadramon, when you play it, you return up to 2 of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to their hand, trashing any Digivolution sources, which is kind of cool. And it cannot be blocked by any Digimon with no Digivolution cards. So it comes in as, again, it's got 10,000 power. It's not terribly powerful here, but what it is a Digimon that's going to get rid of Digivolution sources, by which I mean just getting rid of Digimon, and then can't be blocked. This is one that is very much worth having a little bit of a play around with. And the other one we see here, I'm afraid because we're making the cards from 3 Japanese sets, the set order does not make a huge amount of sense, but it's because we're trying to match the Japanese cards. We've got Leopardmon, the very first English language card they ever showed off. Now, Leopardmon, when you Digivolve, you may play a level 4 or lower Digivolution card of one of your Digimon as another Digimon without paying its memory cost. Garurumon. That's where I'm going with this. And on your turn, all of your level 4 or lower Digimon gain jamming. So, remember a moment ago when I said, hey, wouldn't it be cool to give Cerberusmon jamming? Yeah, he's a level 5, he doesn't get jamming here. Which kind of sucks. But all your level 4s do, so you can attack, knowing you will not be discarded or destroyed or deleted by security Digimon, and that's a pretty cool thing. Being able to play level 4 Digimon for free while giving jamming, people are going to play Leopardmon, or Leopardmon, however it's pronounced. Probably Leopardmon, if I'm honest. They're going to be playing this as a deck with loads of little blue Digimon, or indeed any Digimon, just little ones, with Leopardmon coming in here to protect them. And that's pretty gosh darned cool. But what you're going to see from a lot of blue decks is that they are going to build up into Omnimon. When Booster 1.0 is revealed, let's be clear, this is the best card. This is the chase card. This is the one you're all looking to pull from boosters. This is going to be the most played card initially in both red and blue decks, because it is important to note it will evolve from both red and blue Digimon. Most powerful Digimon? It's a level 7, it's huge! And when you Digivolve, you choose one of your opponent's Digimon and delete all of your opponent's Digimon that share a name with it, including itself, i.e. you Digivolve into Omnimon, Digivolve not play normally, and then you go Agumon, and you delete all of your opponent's Agumon. And then when you attack, you can unsuspend this Digimon by returning a level 6 Digivolution card to your hand. I.e., now you're only going to have one under Omnimon, but it means that the first time you use it, you get to use it twice. It is a phenomenal card. It is getting an alternate art, incidentally. This is in the set proper. This is probably, even though the artwork is worse, it's more of a chase card because it's rarer. But that is absolutely one that you need to be having a little bit of a look for. Now, like I've said, we're a little bit all over the place in terms of blue Digimon, but there is one random one tucked away that we've not talked about yet, and it is Veedramon. Does have an alternate art, and it is a secret rare, so it's going to be difficult to get, but it's a very good card. When you attack, if you've got a tamer in play, you unsuspend it, so you essentially use it twice every turn. And if you've got a blue tamer in play, this Digimon gains 1,000 power, which is a bit silly. One of the box topper cards is a blue tamer that can rest itself and is a 2-cost. That is the one you want to play with this Digimon. This is another very, very good card that a bunch of people are going to want to play. Now, those are all of the Digimon. I don't believe I've missed any blue Digimon. So we can have a little bit of a look at the tamers here. And we've got a few blue tamers we can gander at. So, starting off, we've got Matt Ashida that is getting an alternate art. This is another one of the box toppers. So, box toppers, you get you get a pair of promo cards that are on Japanese magazines, and you get 1 out of the 10 alternate art tamers, like we're seeing on the screen now. And you also get dash packs, 1 per 12 packs, 2 per box, which give you 1 of 5 alternate arts like the Gabumon we looked at a moment ago. Madashida is a 4-cost, and if you've got 2 or less memory at the beginning of your turn, it goes to free, which is nice. And when you play a blue Digimon, you may rest this tamer or suspend this tamer to trash the bottom Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Of course, resting it ends up being really nice for Vidramon. And you're getting rid of evolution sources, which of course is a kind of thing we want to do in blue decks. It's a pretty good thing. Now, I believe there's only one more. I do hope we're not missing any obvious ones here. We are getting Joe Kiddo. Now, this is a 3-cost. And on your turn, when one of your opponent's Digivolution cards is trashed, you may suspend this tamer to gain a memory. Yep. That's really good. Again, what you're seeing through blue here is getting rid of evolution sources and gaining advantages when you do, and also making your Digimon active is something we see from a lot of blue cards. Now, there is one other tamer coming in the starter deck. It's also Matashida, and it's a 2-cost tamer, and at the beginning of your turn, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution sources, you gain a memory. Now, it's important to note that you decide, if it's your turn, you decide the order in which these tamer skills activate. So let's say, for argument's sake, you've got the Madashida, which puts you up to 3 memory at the beginning of your turn, so puts you from 1 or 2 up to 3. You would choose to use this one first, and then you would choose to use this one, so you'd go up to 3, and then this would put you up to 4. Now, there are a couple of other Digimon we can look at here. Most notably, we have Pleasiumon. It's a vanilla level 6, but it's got 12,000 power. It's 2 cost to evolve, which is cheap, and 10 cost to play normally, which is really cheap. So, bearing in mind that this is very, very cool. And we've got Metal Garurumon, where once during your turn when you attack, you just make it active. You attack, and then you make it active again, which is kind of a little bit dumb good. We're not going to dig too much into the starter deck. I've done videos about the starter decks, but I did want to mention them because they are very relevant Pokemon. No, that's not this channel, Wossy. Digimon. Very relevant Digimon. Now, in terms of option cards for blue, we've got a few here, and you can see I am flicking around making sure I've not missed anything, because combining the sets, they've jumbled the set order quite a lot, shall we say. Mad Dog Fire is a 1-cost option card that gives a Digimon 3,000 power, which is pretty good. Or if it comes out as a security card, it is revealed when your opponent attacks a security stack. You draw a card and then put it in your hand, which ain't too bad. Boring Storm is a 1-cost option card that draws a card. Basically cycles your deck. V-Nova Blast, one of your Digimon games jamming. We said it'd be good to give some of them jamming, which is quite cool. As a security, you add it to your hand. And Heart's Attack, you trash all Digivolution sources from one of your opponent's Digimon at the cost of 3 memory, which is kind of ridiculous, but ridiculously good. We said a lot in this video we want to get rid of Digivolution sources. We're also getting River of Power, a 3-cost card that returns up to 3 of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to their hand, trashing any Digitama that might be under them. So this is really good just for I mean, if your opponent's playing one of those Rookie Rush decks that has all those little Digimon, this will hurt them. And then, are there any more blue? No, that is all of the blue we've got. And like I say, we've got the starter deck. Very, very quickly, we've got a Vanilla Gomamon, good because it's 2 cost to play normally. We've got a Gabumon that lets you trash a Digivolution source of a level 5 or less Digimon. We've got a Vanilla Bearmon, but it's a bit more powerful than average. We've got a Vanilla Ikakumon, which is slightly cheaper to play than normal, but it's not a great card. We've got a Metal Garurumon that trashes an evolution source from any of your opponent's Digimon. Play these 2 together, trash 2 when you attack. We've got Grizzlymon, which is your ordinary everyday run-of-the-mill blocker, but you have to pay 2 memory when you attack with it, so try not to attack with it. We've got Garurumon, whereby if your opponent has any Digimon with no Digivolution sources, you gain security attack +1, which is pretty awesome. And we got a Zudamon, where when you evolve into it, you trash 2 Digivolution sources from under an opponent's Digimon. These starter deck cards are really good for trashing evolution sources. Hammer Spark is one of the very, very best option cards. It sees a ridiculous amount of play. It gains a memory for 0 cost, or if it comes out as a security card, it gains you 2. Expect a lot of blue decks to be playing this as a 4-off. Sorrow Blue is a 2 cost card. Choose one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards, and then it cannot block or attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. 1 more card that punishes them for not having evolution sources. Kaiser Nail, you choose a Digimon's evolution card placed under one of your Digimon, and play it as a Digimon without paying its cost, i.e. it lets you play Garurumon here. Instead of paying 6, you only pay 4. Which is quite nice. And then finally, we've got Cocytus Breath, a 7 cost card that returns any one of your opponent's Digimon to its owner's hand, trashing any Digivolution cards under it. So you take a big level 6 or 7, it goes into their hand, they lose all the evolution sources, and they can play that level 6 or 7 again, but they will have to pay the full cost, which is often going to be, let's just say, prohibitive. And that's it. Those are your blue options when Booster 1.0 comes out. What we're going to see from an awful lot of people is they are going to be playing a blue deck with Metal Garurumon, and then they're going to be building up into Omnimon. That is what a lot of blue decks are going to do. Not necessarily all of them, but an awful lot of them will. So a lot of people have been saying, Wossy, come on, the set list's out. Talk to us about the set list. And I've been wondering what I want to do and how I want to do it, and I think this is the way to do it. Chat through all of the cards of a particular colour, talking about the ones that see the most play and the strategies most people are tending to use based on the results we've seen coming out of Japan, which, to be clear, we're talking about a brand new card game that's being played in a global pandemic with no bigger tournaments. A lot of people think they've got the meta sorted. My experience of other cards games tells me we're all going to be in for quite some surprises. But for now, I want to hear from you guys. I want to know if you're excited about blue. I want to know if you are going to make a blue deck, and if so, which one you're going to make. So go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, may I suggest you head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays. Bye.